Just wanted to say these videos are going to be clipped up. We're talking three things today, which is total medals, looking at the sort of the top countries to win the most medals, and then also total number of medals that USA can hope to achieve or win, and also if there's value to be betting. Then we will then move to the third clip, which is where we're going to have Ian Cameron on from the Ice Guys. So super excited to speak with him, and that will be ice hockey. So 3 segments. They will be clipped up and put into articles that are over at Sports Book Review. Martin has kindly written those and packed full of information and tips. So make sure to keep a lookout for those. Sportsbook Review /picks, and then I think it's more sports. Alrighty then, so total number of medals. So we're mainly going to look back at 2010 and 2014 Winter Olympics. And interestingly, the USA have won the most medals, but they are not first because obviously they didn't win the most gold medals. Starting with you, big man. How important, obviously it's quite a big thing, how important are the Winter Olympics for the USA?
I think they're pretty important. I mean, again, you were starting to see a lot more on TV about it. I think people are generally interested. Is it going to get as much publicity as, the really big sports? No, unfortunately. It's kind of on a similar level to soccer, frankly. To me, I do think there's definitely a lot of niche people, though. There's plenty of skiers, a lot of snowboarders anymore. Guys like Shaun White and the X Games have done a great job kind of growing the interest in the Olympics. And I think for a lot of people, it's kind of something every couple of years, kind of like the World Cup, basically, where you're going to get a lot of these people that may not watch soccer the rest of the years when there's no World Cup, but when this all comes around, there's some general interest. And I think betting obviously adds a lot to it as well. You can people like curling. People have started to get into, the bobsled kind of stuff. So I think there's a general interest for it. And I could say I'm excited. I think there's great betting value if you know where to look and you have the time to study it.
Yeah. What about in the UK, Martin? Has there been much hype leading up to the Winter Olympics?
I think it's relatively niche over in the UK simply because despite getting a lot of rain, we don't get any snow really throughout the year. So I think due to a lack of particularly exciting prospects from the UK, they're not putting a great deal of focus on it. But the BBC is pretty partisan in its worldwide coverage. So you see a lot of different sports there. And I think everyone's interested to see the situation in Pyeongchang and what might happen with the North Korean athletes going there. There's been a lot of focus on the doping ban for Russia and how that's going to affect things. So probably more focusing on the news and the technology that's going on a bit more than the actual sport so far. But yeah, once it gets going, then it'll ramp up and interest will build, I think. But like Big Man says, not the most popular of events here, but it will still be reasonably well covered.
Well, I tell you one player. Well, I'm in Costa Rica, and I tell you, I haven't heard a whiff of the Olympics. Obviously, apart from at SBR, no, it's just not on anybody's radar. But it's definitely sort of more likened to the colder countries. And one such country is Canada. My husband is Canadian. My mother-in-law literally is not going to leave the house. She's watching Olympics for the next sort of month. So obviously for them it's a huge focus and not really a surprise. They won 2010, came second in 2014. So depending on the country and definitely the coldness of the country as well, I think, for the Winter Olympics. But right, let's take a look. Now, interestingly as well.
Hey, Nat.
Yeah.
Yeah, one thing I did want to add, I think I think the Winter Olympics are a little less popular just because you have to look at like in America, over in England, over in some of the bigger countries, there's so much going on right now on our calendar. I mean, you have the Super Bowl coming up, you have NBA, you have college basketball, you have so many different things. You look at the Summer Olympics, they're held in the summer. Only thing going on really in this country is baseball. And a lot of people are in the mood for something different. And you have great sports being represented. You have the soccer, you have the basketball, some stuff that you don't have at the Winter Olympics. So, I think that's a bit of a problem as well. It is kind of around. There's so many other sports right now that it's kind of hard to get as interested. But summer, I think, are a little bit more popular here. I know in the States, and I'm sure Martin could agree with that as well.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'll tell you, listen, we're not whether, For us, it is about finding some value here and seeing if we can make some money. One thing to obviously think about, Russia is out this year, obviously from the doping scandal, and they were a very big contender to pick up some medals. So what does that mean for the sort of the other top contenders, including the USA? So you've got USA, you've got Norway, you've got Germany, you've got Canada. Martin, what does that mean with Russia being out?
Well, they did win a lot of medals previously, so they were a big contender, but it was probably because there was so much doping going on that they were winning all those medals. Yeah, that means that there'll be about 21 extra medals up for grabs. And I think it will be spread pretty evenly among the biggest countries competing. I think a couple could go to the USA, a couple for Canada, but I think that Russia was quite versatile in 2014, spread itself out over a number of sports. So I think Switzerland, Germany, Norway, Japan, France, all of them can look to gain a couple more medals. But yeah, I'm not sure if it's quite enough to really ensure that a team like the USA gets 5 more medals or something like that. I think maybe 1 or 2 you could benefit from.
Yeah, and interestingly, we've got Germany here. Best sports books, actually, I found right now. I don't know what you guys are using. Bovada and also Pinnacle have certainly got some nice lines. The lines that I am reading are from Bovada today. But Germany lead 2.75. Not bad odds, but Germany was only 6th in 2014. What sort of like spurred on the sort of the turn of events here and put them first, big man?
Well, I think obviously Russia being out is going to help everyone, and it's going to help Germany considerably. I mean, Russia won 33 medals at the last Olympics, so I mean, obviously that's a huge slice of medals being carried out. I think Germany's success a lot of the time in the Winter Olympics comes from their success in the biathlon, which is 6 different events. I mean, they've cleaned up there in their in their country's origins in the Olympics. I mean, they've won 16 gold medals in that sport. They're also very good at luge as well, which you can kind of clean up in. They really kind of are focused a lot of the time on winning some of the and kind of mastering some of the events with large amounts of different competition. So you know they're kind of the opposite of the U.S., where the U.S. is more focused on snowboarding and skiing and that sort of thing. It's interesting how the different countries are kind of good at certain things. With Canada and curling and hockey. I mean, and that's what makes the Olympics so great. And it's going to be like 3 different countries really just battling it out, and one of the big boys is gone. So it's really just kind of we're focused on just 3 now as opposed to 4, which is nice. And those are all going to kind of break through all those different ones. So that'll add to why Germany, I think, has got to be the leader. Plus, they focus on sports that are generally have plenty of competitions in it, and they're very good at that.
Yeah, just got a message here from Dalo4 as well, which says that English books have Norway as the favourite. They picked up the most. Well, they were first. Sorry. In 2014, they're priced 2.75 as well at Bovada. Is it between those two countries, Martin?
I think so. Yeah, they're very close in the betting. Yeah, with the UK books, Norway is the very slight favourite, but there's like half a point in it. So they're pretty much neck and neck at Bovada. You can get plus 175 on both of them. And exactly like Big Man said, Germany is always very strong in luge and biathlon. It's also got some contenders in bobsleigh, skeleton, and the Nordic combined events. But Norway's very, very strong in cross-country skiing and snowboarding, and there's a lot of medals there too. Country like USA, it's only going to win medals in 10 of the 15 sports, so you're already quite handicapped there because they're just not strong enough in some of those other ones. So yeah, I think those are the 2 that are the most specialist, and it probably is going to come down to those 2 again. But yeah, you have to say that USA's got an outside chance, but I'll be going for Germany just to narrowly sneak it, I think.
Okay, Germany to narrowly sneak it. USA priced 5 here. I've got for US odds. Do check out. I'll see if I can put the link in the description actually of Martin's articles. He's got all the odds in US odds. All right, so Germany. Martin started off there. Germany to win the most medals. Big man, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with him 100%. I can actually, at Five Dimes, which is a generally U.S. book, they have Norway as the favorite as well. I just think Germany's just a little bit more well-rounded on everything. Like Martin said, the U.S. is really handicapped just because, like he said, they do only have 10 of 15 events. I think an interesting point, and I know we'll get into some of the particular events, but I think some of the events, you look at some added events. In curling, they have the mixed doubles now, which I think the U.S. might have a shot in just because they have two people that are very good at that in curling, and they've kind of attacked that sport. But yeah, I'm going to go Germany just because it's the better price, frankly. I can get 2.55 or plus 155 at Five Dimes. So for me, I think it's very close, but I'm obviously going to take Germany just because I trust them a bit more and I'm getting better odds.
All right.
But yeah, I was just saying basically I would go with Germany slightly just because I think they're better, and I'm actually getting better odds than them. I can get 2.55 as opposed to the slightly lower ones with Norway.
Okay. All right. So Martin, big man on Germany. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to our channel. Now we've put a lot of work into producing all these free videos, so please help us out and keep all our content free for you forever by simply liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. Now, not to mention, a visit to our industry-leading website will warm the hearts of all our SBR employees, especially myself. Now, the links are over there to the left, so do check those out. Thanks for watching.